Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host this evening, Logan Landers. And tonight we're going to be talking about a college football team preview, the 2021 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And I can't do this alone. I got to bring on one of my best friends in the sports casting community. He's my fellow co-host for the Unscripted Sports Podcast. It is my man, Jay McLovin. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, man. Wonderful evening. Watch some good playoff basketball. Ready to talk some college football. And, yeah, man, I'm excited to be here, brother.
Hey, glad to have you on, man, as always. Well, hey, if you guys enjoyed this video here tonight, please be sure to like, comment, and share. It helps us out a lot, especially when you share it over to those Facebook groups. It's always fun to have some good interaction with the fans over there, talking some football, and that's what we know best here at 100 Yards of Football. Well, Jay, let's get right into things, my man. I'm going to ask you first, what do you like about this Notre Dame Fighting Irish team going into this season? I hate that they're going to perform.
Honestly, these guys are coming off a 10-2 season. Unfortunately, they lost in the Rose Bowl, 31-14. But what I like about it is they're keeping most of their defense. That basically, look, let's be honest, Notre Dame's identity is through their defense. Now, they did lose their defensive coordinator, Leah, but they brought in Cincinnati's defensive coordinator, Freeman, who looks to be, in my opinion, a little bit more of I think it's kind of an upgrade to what they're already working with. I think his schemes are a little bit better, I think. With a 3-3-5 look in terms of what he's running. And they got a lot of people coming back. Now, they did lose some people, but I think their big strength is in their wideouts and this defense, Logan.
Yeah, man, this defense is definitely top-notch. They had a lot of guys who were projected to go into the NFL draft this, just a short while ago. And it kind of shook up the team a little bit. Like you said, they got a good mix of veterans and a lot of new guys coming in. But there is one key piece of the puzzle here at Notre Dame I'm a little bit worried about. I think a lot of the fans are coming into the season, Jay, and that's the offensive line. They lost the majority of their O-line. They only have one starter coming back, and it's going to be a whole fresh crop, along with a new quarterback as well. So how do you think that that's going to fare? The brand new O-line as well as the new quarterback they're going to be running this year. Do you think they're going to the production's going to go down a little bit, or is that going to be more of, or is it going to stay the same and be pretty solid?
Well, Notre Dame did have the number 9 recruiting class. So that does help them in terms of the quality players that they're bringing in. However, in a comma, like you said, they lost 9 offensive linemen, or they lost 9 key players, 4 of them off the offensive line, plus their veteran quarterback in Ian Book, who I believe went to the Saints to the NFL. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to rely on Wisconsin transfer Jack Cohn, who will lead this offense. But basically, not having that interior lineman experience is going to hurt them quite a bit. And I see Notre Dame starting off slow, and I think they'll pick it up once they get more comfortable. I do not see Notre Dame being in the college playoffs this year. I think they're about a year, maybe a year and a half away from getting back into the playoff hunt again. I think they're going to sit down around the 9 or 10 rank mark. When it's all, I think right now they got them ranked number 12 in one of the polls I was looking at. I think that's probably fitting for them because of their offensive woes in terms of what they lost in quality, experienced guys. So now they got 4 inexperienced guys with an inexperienced, or not so much inexperienced quarterback, but a guy who hasn't had any true playoff experience. So I do see them taking a slight step back in production. I do see them taking a slight step back in that area. So don't expect too much out of Notre Dame this year in terms of what you saw last year. And but they will still have a pretty decent team. They'll be decent, and they have something to work on and rebuild that foundation.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was doing my research on this team, looking up just some stats and whatnot, something that really kind of popped out to me is that, man, their win streak is absolutely insane. They have 32 straight wins against unranked opponents, 24 stay at home as well. So with this brand new regime, like you said, with the new coordinator and the brand new, basically a brand new offense for the most part, do you think that streak is going to stay intact, or is it going to get snapped this year? What's your thoughts, man?
No. And that's what I was saying. The 32 consecutive win streak is definitely going to get broken this year. I hate to say that. I don't mean to put no bad juju on the Fighting Irish, but let's just be honest. They do have an easier slate, right? Their slate of teams isn't quite as dominating, so that should help them. But no, I do see that win streak taking a hit. And I will be honest with you, I know I have my notes here that where the team I actually had them losing to was going to be, I think Cincinnati.
That's a good one.
I think Cincinnati is going to be one that they're going to lose to, and possibly either Wisconsin or USC. I see them losing to. But I definitely see either Wisconsin or Cincinnati breaking that streak.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their schedule here myself, and if there was an ACC team that could beat them as well, I would throw up there. I would throw North Carolina, who had a solid year last year, and also Georgia Tech, just because they're kind of a hit and miss team. Are the Yellow Jackets? Last year they didn't have the best season, but they've asserted their dominance for many years in college football, and we'll just have to see how all their guys play and if they can get back to their winning ways. But I think overall, though, Notre Dame isn't. They're not going to be bad. I don't think they're going to have a solid season. I'm in agreement with you. I think it's going to be a step down from last year. I don't think they're going to get into the college football playoff. Right. But I do expect them to maintain a top 10 ranking, though. Like you said, they have a pretty decent schedule. They should definitely beat the teams that are on the majority of teams that are on the list this year. But I could definitely see them slipping up and falling to a few teams this upcoming season. But on the other hand, though, it's interesting because I think that we just spoke about the new offense coming in, basically with the new quarterback, a lot of new receivers, and a whole new crop of guys who are looking to prove themselves for the first time. I think that Notre Dame could surprise a lot of people because their offense was stout. And let's not forget, man, that defense is coming back, and I think they could be a force to be reckoned with. We've seen a lot of really talented teams have. It's great to have a good offense, but if you don't got a good defense, man, especially getting near the playoffs, that might be what kills you going into it. So, what do you think the record could be for Notre Dame this year? Do you think they're going to be a few games over 500? Do you think they'll get to double-digit wins? What do you think about that?
Let's see. Well, like I said, I see definitely 3 losses for sure. In there. They could I'm gonna give it 3. I'm gonna leave it at 3 losses. Like I said, I think Wisconsin, Cincinnati, and possibly either USC or UNC, especially with Matt Brown over there at UNC. I think UNC is going to be definitely a force to be reckoned with for that group of players. So, how many games are on all in all?
I am looking at 13 so far.
So 13. So I would say 10-3, 9-4, 10-3, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Like I said, because the big thing is they're keeping their tight end, right? They got their tight end in Mayer. He's coming back, so he's still there. They have a ground-oriented offense, so they're going to have to get those 2 studded running backs, right, to go through that. But they're going to have to carve out a pass or a running lane for them. That's where the inexperienced offensive lineman could hurt them. But maybe they get them ready. Maybe they come out and do well. I don't know. We're going to wait and see. But with this type of offense and with the way Cone throws the ball, Cone is like a Brady type quarterback. He throws the short to intermediate passes. So between that and a ground-centric offense, they're going to have to stretch the field with, the 3 wide receivers in Austin, Davis, and the big play guy, Lindsey. Now, Lindsey's coming off some injury, but if he can bounce back off of that and be the big play guy he was around 2019, early 2020, between him and between those 3 receivers and that tight end and that ground, and they have some good running backs. So it's not that they can't do it. I just think that they will take a step back this year.
Right. I mean, that is fair. Like you said, they're going through a lot of changes right now. And, they played the all ACC schedule with COVID and everything happening last year. Things are opening back up. And hopefully Notre Dame can hopefully they can continue their good ways and get some good wins. But I just don't see them getting to the college football playoff this year. Yeah. It's just a little bit too – hey, they might surprise us, though. They very well might surprise us with these new recruits coming in, seeing how they can do, seeing if guys can step up. That's a great thing about college football, man, is every year there's always a new crop of guys who come in there and can absolutely light the team on fire and just go in there and get a bunch of wins, clutch in-game situations as well. So do you have a star player you're looking out for this year, someone that you think could really help out the Irish and get them a few wins, whether it be on offense or defense?
No, I definitely think it's going to come on offense. And I'm really, like I said, I'm I'm looking at this big play guy, Lindsey, the big play wideout they got. I'm looking at him. I think it's two guys. I think it's him, and I think it's going to be that Michael Mayer, their tight end, because like I said, he likes to do that short intermediate passes, that tight end and that big wideout. And like I said, any one of those running backs could be the running back, the tight end, and then the wideout, Brandon Lindsey. I think between those three is going to be your main bolster that you have there. That's going to be your main strength to get you where you got to go.
Yeah, okay. Those are all good selections. Yeah, I'm going to go over to the defensive side of the ball, I think, because like we said, they had a really stout defense last year, and I think it's going to continue into this season as well. But my one shining star, I think, who could really help out the Irish's defense is going to be Kyle Hamilton, who's coming back. Now, he played basically all of 2020 with an ankle injury, and he also had to get some offseason surgery. But, hey, even with him playing hurt, he still led the team in tackles. So imagine this guy fully recouped, fully healthy. Imagine just how even more dominant he could be for that Notre Dame defense. I definitely think he's going to have a solid year. He's going to boost that draft stock a whole lot if he continues on his success from the previous season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Like I said, I don't think the defense is going to be their issue, Logan. I don't. And that's why I really didn't say anything about the defense, because I don't think the defense is going to be the issue. I think that's going to be the key cog that gets them where they got to go. The key cog is going to have to come either from running back or be that tight end, because that tight end is going to be basically the security blanket for the Wisconsin transfer Cone coming out of Wisconsin. Right. So I'm looking at the defense is there, and that's all great. But to get them to at least in that top 10, like you're talking about, their offense is going to have to produce. And with those inexperienced offensive linemen, they're like you said, they're going to have to get the help from the passing game to take some of the pressure off of the running game.
No doubt about that, my man. Well, hey, do you have any final thoughts on the upcoming 2021 Notre Dame Fighting Irish season? What are your final thoughts on this team with college football just around the corner, my man? I'm looking forward to watching some games.
Yeah, me too. My final thought on Notre Dame is, hey, listen, guys, like I said, they lost some guys. They lost some key components. But the one good thing for Notre Dame, and keep this understand, they got the number 9 ranked recruiting class. They drafted well. They got some great defensive coordinators coming in. This is a young team. They've gone back to being a young team again. And for even to being a young team, but they can stay in the top 10 as a young team, then they're going to build on that foundation. And greater things will come out of this for Notre Dame. Believe that. I just think it's going to take them a year or two of seasoning to really develop that squad.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that, Jay. Like I said, they went from having a pretty experienced team to a lot of guys moving on to the NFL, and now they're starting over once more kind of again. They're starting young. And like I said, I think they're going to have a good year. There's no doubt about that. I don't think they're going to fall off or anything too insane. I just think they're just going to be, like you said, a year or two away with a little bit more experience with these guys, and they could very well get back into the college football playoff and maybe get a title back there. We'll see. But like I said, I think so far, man, the Fighting Irish, they're going to have a good season. Just miss out on the playoffs, but overall, man, keep your head up if you're a Fighting Irish fan. You got a lot of good things to look forward to. Well, hey, if you guys have enjoyed this show here tonight, first off, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to us here. If you enjoyed it, hey, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It means a whole lot to us. And also, if you like listening to podcasts, well, you're in luck because we have a podcast. Type in 100 Yards of Football, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, iTunes, anything that carries a podcast, honestly, and you can just look for us there. You'll see our logo right there on the 50-yard line. And we upload daily podcasts, whether it's legends interviews, team previews, game previews. Hey, we've even started doing some NFL draft prospects for the next season, 2022. So go check those out as well. Hey, for the whole team here at 100 Yards of Football, man, it's been a pleasure talking sports with you, Jay. It's always a pleasure, man, having you on, talking some football with you. Happy to have you on. I've been your host tonight, Logan Landers. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. See you soon.